Hey, I'm about to build a live Instagram Parasite system right in front of you that scrapes posts from the top AI news Instagram account in the world, rewrites them in your tone of voice using AI, and turns them into a stream of content that you can post automatically. And if this is your first time here, my name is Michele, and over the past 12 months, I've helped over 40 businesses implement these sort of AI solutions and taught over 15,000 people in the process, all starting with zero technical knowledge. So in this video, I'm gonna break everything down step by step, and if you stick around until the end, I'll even show you how you can get the whole system for free. Let's dive in. All right, so this right here is the system. I can press execute workflow. This will now run the automation. Ideally, we run this every single week. Then we scrape the Instagram post from the top AI news account in the world on Instagram using Apify. As we can see here, this is currently running. Then we wait 5 seconds before actually getting all the data and then looping it through. So we only let 20 posts at a time. In this case here, we're checking whether it's actually relevant to our target audience before sending it to the next AI to actually rewrite the post and then adding it all back to our Google Sheet database. All right, we can see it just ran successfully. I can go to the Google Sheet database. I can see here that we have the username of the account. In this case, it's the same. The date when the post was posted, the post URL we have here. We can always look back. The original post and the rewritten post using our tone of voice, target audience, and so on. So we have every single week a stream of content ideas that we can then post automatically that are repurposed using our tone of voice. So now let me save this. Let me make a new automation. All right, we start from scratch. And again, the first step of always building the automation is not actually building it itself. It's going on Miro to map things out, to break it down step by step before we actually go out and build it. So if I go here, I always look at an automation as an input and an output. And then in between, there's different steps that we have to just figure it out. Well, the input in this case is, I guess, someone else's content because we are doing a Parasite system. And Parasite just means that you just steal someone else's idea and then you just repurpose it for your own target audience. In this case, if I wanted to get the latest AI news and I wanted to use Instagram, I had to find an account where they posted the latest AI news and it was the top in the world. So initially what I would do is I would go here and say, what is the top AI news Instagram account in the world? And then I would get this right here, evolving AI. So I'll go here, let me see what you have. Yeah, they're pretty big. Reddit users go viral after revealing AI prompt tricks in ChatGPT that almost feel like cheat hack. Yeah, I think that's pretty good sort of new AI news, and they're posting really regularly. I mean, this is 4 hours ago, 6 hours ago. Okay, so they post like twice a day. Yeah, 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 4 times a day, which is great because now we have a lot of news, a lot of content to then repurpose. So the input is this. So we're going to put input, in this case, post from evolving AI. That's for Instagram. We put a note here, Instagram, IG. Now the next step after this is actually extracting the text from the post. So this is called scraping. We want to go here to, let's say, this post right here every single week. And we want to take this whole text. And this is what we're going to use to then repurpose, which means that we're going to change the tone of voice, but the message is the same. So the overall information is the same. And we're going to make it our own content. So the next step here is scraping post text. Now for us to actually scrape the post text from Instagram, we would use a platform called Apify. So Apify is, I mean, the way that I would represent it is just the Amazon for scrapers. The Amazon for all of these things that a smart dude in the world created using code. But of course, we're not using any code. We're just using it automatically using our no-code platform, n8n. So if I go to console, you have to make an account and you go to Apify store. On the bottom, you get to see that you have usage, which is $5 because Apify actually gives you $5 for free every single month that you can use. And so let's go to an example here. We can see, this is in the back example. Let me go here. Yeah, that we have the scraper. So this is the thing that we use to actually scrape. And I mean, if this looks complicated, don't worry, I'll break it down. And we have to use $1.50 or we have to pay $1.50 for 1,000 leads. So if we get $5 for free and we have to pay $1.50 for 1,000 leads, and this changes every single scraper, it depends on what they are, then do the math there and it should be around 4,000 leads, if I'm right. The math dudes in the comments, let me know, but that's how much you have to pay. So ideally what I would do is I would go to the Apify store. Again, it's like you're looking for a product on Amazon, and the product that I want is a product that is able to scrape IG posts. Okay, so I want to scrape or let's just do Instagram post scraper. And we have 2 options. Instagram post scraper and Apify Instagram post scraper. So Apify is the actual platform name. So typically I would go for something that's Apify based because again, it's a platform. 50,000, I think that's pretty good. And $2.70 for 1,000 posts. That's a bit steep, but I think it's fine. I mean, we're not gonna scrape 1,000 posts. I think we're gonna do maybe 50 a week. So it's basically free because we get $5 a month. And this is what the sort of UI looks like. So on the top, we have the name of the scraper. Then we have the description. Then we have the input. So there's two different ways that you can run the scraper, that you can actually use this. You can either go in the platform and run it here. So run the start the actual scraper, or you can use the JSON. You can connect Apify to n8n and then be able to run it automatically within the no-code platform. And if that made no sense to you, no worries. I'll explain exactly what it is step by step, so don't worry. But we can see here that the inputs are, well, there's really only one. There's one input, which is either an Instagram username, a profile URL, or a post URL. So if I go to, what was it, Evolve AI? I think it was Evolve AI. Yeah, there we go. Evolving AI. If I go here, on the top is a URL, and this is the post URL or the profile URL that I get to paste here, right? And this is the thing I already had pasted, but it's the input that we have, that we give Apify saying, hey, here's a profile URL, just scrape these posts on this time frame, this many posts. So this many posts in this time frame. It says extract posts that are newer than date. So the input that has to go here is the URL of the actual account, which you can change with your own URLs if you want. Then the number of posts that we make or that we scrape, and then we scrape, we're only scraping the posts that are newer than this date right here. So again, you can run this. If I press start, what this will basically do is it will now say it's running right here. And over time, it will start giving me results. So results are just basically here. Here's the output. As you can see here, the actor is getting your data. All right, so we're already seeing some outputs come up. These are the different text posts that we ideally want to be able to then repurpose using our tone of voice. We'll name the post URL, which comes from here. So this is the text that it extracted. And we get a bunch of them, which is great. All right, so I mean, ideally you would have to run this. Let me abort, which means that you stop the automation. Well, it doesn't really mean that in real life, but in the automation context, it is. But now we stopped the scraper. We said, hey, stop scraping. But now we have the different text posts that we would like to use. So we know this works because we get the output. So, all right, cool. Scraping IG posts using Apify. Then the next step would be using AI to check if it's relevant. Because it's great that we get all this AI news, but are they actually relevant to who we're targeting and who our audience is? So in this case, we use AI. Well, you can say ChatGPT, but I think that's fine. And then we ideally want to rewrite the post using our tone of voice. And then we would add it to a Google Sheet. Now, this right here, this automation, we ideally want to run it every single week. So the first step actually is run automation weekly on a Monday. So we have fresh new ideas that we can post. So run automation weekly on a Monday, post from Evolving AI, which is an account on Instagram. Scrape IG posts using Apify. Use AI to check if it's relevant. And then we rewrite the post using our tone of voice and add it to the Google Sheet. So in this case, the output is a Google Sheet full of content. All right, we can get to building now. All right, let's go to n8n. And the first step that we have to do is, let me just do a trigger manually, which means that just to test, but later on, we're going to replace this with a on schedule, which will run every single week. So we do trigger manually right here. So the first step is to scrape IG post using Apify. So how do we do this? Well, we have to connect Apify to n8n. I can go here to Apify and I have this node and I can now run an actor because again, these are all different actors that we have within the actual platform. But this is an actor. So I can run an actor. And then in order for us to connect Apify, we have to go to create a new credential. We have to go to API key. I believe that the API key you can find on settings. Yeah, API integrations, and then you can copy this right here. If not, you have to create a new token, and I think when you're new to Apify, then you paste it right here. Let's do 100 million connection and press save, and we're good to go. Then the resource is actor because we're running an actor. The operation, so what is the action that we're doing? In this case, is running an actor. And then the actor source, recently used actors is fine. Now, one important thing here is that if you go to the actors, so again, went to Instagram, we can also go to runs. because we already run this already. Apify Instagram, yeah, this one right here, Apify Instagram post scraper. In order for us to see it here, in order for us to have it in our list of scrapers, we already have to run this in a platform. So if you don't see it here, it's because you need to press start and save, and it will start the automation. It will start the actual actor. You have to run it once in order for you to see it right here, which in this case is Instagram post scraper, Apify Instagram post scraper. Cool. Now it's asking us for the input JSON. So the input JSON is essentially what is the thing that we're feeding to the scraper, saying, hey, do this, and then give us the data back. Well, in this case, we can either do it manually or we can use JSON like I mentioned. So for us to use JSON, all we have to do is copy this whole thing and we delete this and paste it right here. So I'm basically saying, hey, I'm running it automatically. I'm using the JSON that we have to use, and that's it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to be changing the date. So first I'm going to run this just to get some test data. You can wait for finish. This means that we're waiting for the scraper to be done. Let me execute step. To go here, I can see that on the runs. Now this is running. This is starting the scroller, which means that it's starting to scrape. But what I was thinking here is, because this is saying, hey, only get the post newer than this date, we want the date to be dynamic. We want it to be the date that we're running it minus 7 days from the last week. So we only want to run post from the last 7 weeks. Are we finished? Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we got the data. In this case, we didn't actually get the post, but we got something called a default dataset ID. Now, Apify, the way it works is that we run the actor, and then we don't actually get the post there. We have to give it to another node in Apify, which is called the get dataset items. Yeah, right here. And this node right here will be the one with the same connection that we then do a dataset and get items and paste the dataset ID that we have from here, which in this case, we can get from here, default dataset ID. So drag it across, and this will be the thing that we use to then extract the data. So if I remove the limit, I think you can remove it. Yeah. And I can pin this, which means that I don't have to rerun this again in order to do the whole thing. I can now execute the step, and this will now give me the post. So the caption for all the different items that we have. And this is a long, long list. Yeah. We can see it in schema, we can see it in JSON, in table as well. All right, now that we got the data, now we can move on to the next steps. And by the way, all we did is run the actor, sent it here to then get the data. It's all the different post text that we want for the next steps. And that's it. Then we go here to Miro. This right here is good. This right here is also good. And now we have to use AI to check if it's actually relevant. So the next step right here is to add another node. In this case, it's an AI step. We're not using an AI agent, we're using an AI step, which in this case, I think OpenAI is, pretty good at this. We can now message a model. In order to connect your OpenAI, you have to create a new credential. You have to go to platform.openai.com. You have to go to dashboard, go to API keys, make a new secret key, name it whatever you want. You will have a code that you will then paste back here as an API key and press save. Now, bear in mind, this is not free. Like all of this is not free. You have to pay for API tokens, which you can find in your profile, billing, and then put some money here. I think $5 is more than enough. It lasted me 6 months. So I think it will last you, hopefully. Unless you completely bombard it with different scrapers, but that should be fine. Now, once you have this connected, the resource is text, the operation, so what is the action that we're doing? In this case, it's message a model. The model that we want to use is mini, 4.1 mini, because I'm going for quality and speed, which is fine. So again, for prompt, we have a system prompt, which is you are a helpful, intelligent XYZ assistant. I'm gonna paste this. If I go here, full screen, and you can see the whole prompt. Your helpful, intelligent, precise Instagram post classifier for an AI-focused audience, people who build with or want to learn AI, understand cool news that come out of it, and that actually strike and have an interesting take. I think this is a pretty good overall. You would have to change this with your audience and who you're targeting. And then for the second message, we use a user message. For the user message, I'm going to paste this. If I go here, zoom in, I can say, hey, classify the Instagram post for an automation-focused audience. Return only verdict, relevant or not relevant. It's relevant if it's something interesting news on AI that come out. Not relevant if it's a motivational, personal, non-automation coding, crypto, politics, finance, or tool discounts, or vague hype with no build/impact. And then we want to output this as JSON. Now, why do we use JSON here? It's because we only want the output to be either one of these items. We want it to say relevant or not relevant, right? And we toggle this on, output content as JSON, because then we're basically saying, hey, I told you to do is JSON. Now I'm telling the system that the only output that it can do is JSON. That's fine. Now we have to add the actual data that we're giving the AI, which in this case is the caption. If I go here, I'm basically saying, hey, here is the Instagram post to analyze. It gave me an output, but it's because I ran it when I shouldn't have run it. And now I can drag this across and have this as a caption. So the caption is basically the text of the post. Let me execute this step again. So this is now running. And now it should give me like an accurate answer as well. And let me rename this while I'm at it. Classify. God. Classify. Relevance. Rename. Did it run? No, I didn't run because I renamed it. Right. Well, now it's running. And I actually forgot to put one step in the middle because ideally we're doing 20 items now because in here we're telling it, hey, only get 20 items. And we can put this to 100, whatever it is. Let's put it to 100 because that's more realistic. I mean, they post 4 times a day. What is it? 4 times a day? Let's do 30 actually, or 50. Let's do 50. Yeah, we really don't want to send all 50 here. Maybe we want to send 20 at a time. And now we can see that we start to get the different outputs. So not relevant, not relevant, relevant, not relevant, relevant, not relevant, not relevant, relevant. So it's good because it's not giving us all the information as relevant. It's only filtering out the ones that we actually care about based on our audience. So in order for us to actually not send 20 at a time, and we can batch it. So instead of, because I put 50 here, when we run this now, it will give us 50 posts. I don't want to send all 50 posts through. I want to basically loop over it. So which means that we send only 20 through. Then at the end of the automation, we bring it all back and we do another 20 and we do another 10 until it's finished. So in order to do that, we have to use the loop over items. This is saying, so we connect this to this, by the way. You can delete this and delete this. You're basically saying, hey, after this, loop over only 20 items. So I only want to send 20 posts through at a time. And the next step is here. And then at the end, the last step of the automation, we bring it all back to here. So it takes the ones that are remaining. Now, one thing I also forgot to put here is the date. So if I go here inside, so now I can manipulate the data. So here, ideally, it's telling us, hey, this post have to be newer than a date. Well, in this case, I want it to be the day that is running minus 7 days. The way to do that is to put curly brackets, put now, I believe, dot minus 7. Let's see if I get this right. Days? No, because it's giving us the actual text. We don't want that. So in this case, what I would do, well, actually I can do format. I think that works. Yeah, I think that works. So we're formatting the date. I mean, first of all, we're minusing. So now is today. Then we're removing or we're subtracting 7 days from now. So last week, the past week. And we're formatting it as mmdd, which outputs this as this. So let's try this out. I mean, could or could not work. So we'll see. The only way to know is to actually test. So let me unpin this and let me execute this step. Okay, cool. It worked. Because if it didn't work, it would give us an error. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right, we know this works. Let me stop the automation and let me, pin this. It's fine. And now after we classify the relevance, which in this case, this step, now we want to be able to rewrite the post using our tone of voice. So first step, before we even go there, we have to set different variables because I want to extract the variables that I actually care about from the dataset items because there's so many variables. I mean, this overwhelms me. Ideally, I want to get the like count, comment count, views count, and some other stuff as well. So in order to do that, I can go to edit, fields. I can then go to, I think I have to run this. Yeah, I think I have to run this. Maybe not. Let me try this. There we go. Little hack. And now I can put the comment count. Let me actually, one quick hack. Instead of you putting the name, you can just drag it across and it'll put the name itself. And then I think it's like views, if I'm not mistaken. View, yeah, video view count. Put it here. And then I think it's likes, the likes count. And then I think that is pretty much it. So likes count, comment count, views count, and a full text and date posted. Yeah, so full text and date posted. The full text in this case will be the caption, and the date posted will be the timestamp here. Yeah, this one. I think it should be this one. Yeah, it is this one. but I don't want it in this way. So later on, we're going to change it, but it's fine. So for now, we can actually leave this here. So we can set the variables and then go to the next step. And this will make more sense once I actually show you later. But essentially why I'm doing this is because later on, when I want to pull information here from the, let me actually run this, from here, I don't have to go all the way into here and then start finding information. I can just simply go here and find the things that I need, right? So in this case, the caption, we can leave this as is, but I feel like I want this here, caption. And I think this is fine. And the next step is in your automation to be able to then filter. Filter based on the ones that are relevant. Some are relevant, some are not relevant. So I'm gonna put a filter here. You simply have this press filter. And the verdict has to be equal to relevant. So the filter is saying, hey, only let the ones that are relevant through to the next steps. So if I pin this, and again, amazing feature, n8n, and I run this, now I see that out of 20, only 12 went through, which means that only 12 were accepted and were actually relevant. Once it's done, now we can send it to an AI, in this case Claude, because Claude is better at making content, be able to rewrite the post using our tone of voice. If I go here, Claude, Anthropic in this case, we can generate, message a model, which again, you can find, I don't think you could find it, Anthropic, down below, there you go, message a model, and you go inside, and now to connect your Claude, you have to go to get the API key. You can go to anthropic.console, to console.anthropic.dashboard, and then get the API key. You can create a key, name it whatever you want, and also make sure to add money into your billing because it's not free. But again, just like OpenAI, this is very, very cheap. All right, cool. So now we can go back to n8n and we can paste the API key. We can connect it. The text will be text. Operation will be message a model. The operation, which is what is the action we're doing? Again, message a model. The list, we can actually use, I think 3.5 Haiku is good. Let me actually go to ChatGPT and that's good. Which Anthropic model is good or is best for content? I mean, this is realistically what I would do if I didn't really know. And now ChatGPT will tell me. It depends. No, not complex. Yeah, 3.5 Sonnet. So we can use Sonnet, 3.5 Sonnet. Yeah, that's fine. And now we have to put the prompt. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to write the prompt from scratch. I'm going to paste the one I had before, but it's fine because you get to have the system for free. And I'll show you exactly how to get it, so don't worry. Now, this has the overview, which is you are a helpful, intelligent writing assistant. And now that I think of it, this should probably be a system prompt. Because as I mentioned, the system prompt is the prompt where you tell it, oh, that's why. Okay. All right, take my words away. There's no system prompt option, so we just leave it in the user prompt. And you are a helpful, intelligent writing assistant. The task is to rewrite the Instagram post that I'm going to give you in a way that encapsulates the original theme but uses different words. I'm targeting an audience that are people who build with or want to learn AI, and they are always fascinated by new discoveries or news that actually make an impact. My results over the last year, I've generated 6 figures, worked with over 40 businesses and top 17,000 people, and I got to do a bunch of fun stuff like travel, enjoy my life, etc. Rules: use a no fluff, young tone when rewriting the Instagram post. Only upload the Instagram post and that's it. Perfect. Now, on a technical level, the prompt right here, where we use hashtag, this is called markdown formatting. Markdown formatting, you know when you go to docs, right? And you type something, when you write an essay, you have the title, which in this case is heading 1, so title. Then we have heading 2, then we have heading 3, right? And we have heading 4, and I believe text, right? And so the same thing, one of this, I believe that it's a title, yeah. Then this right here is heading 2. This right here is heading 3, and same thing with heading 4 as well. So this is why we add markdown formatting in our prompts, because then AI can basically, it knows the hierarchy of the actual prompts, so it knows to look at the overview first, the task, and then my results and rules as well. All right, and now we can add another user prompt, I believe, which is the IG post, because we wanted to give it the post to actually rewrite. You can say, hey, here's the IG post to rewrite. I can go, I think, yeah, it's here, edit fields, and put a caption, drag it across. And a good thing is that we actually get to see the output before it's even run, which is great. Okay, cool. So this is good. Simplify output is good. Now we can run this. Press this. Now this should run. So again, we only send 12 items. Yeah, 12 items. We're ready to go. Okay, cool. In the meantime, let me make a Google Sheet, which is a database where we actually get to store all the content. And I believe I want the username, the post URL, the original post text, and the rewritten post text. Okay, cool. Make this white, make this middle. Let me freeze up to row 1. We're good to go. Let me make this a bit larger. So now it's going to be a bit bigger than that. If I go back here, I should see that this is not over because it does take a while because Claude is time consuming. But now it's finished. We have right here. Yo, this is actually insane. Apple just dropped a game changer. Your AirPods Pro can actually now be your personal translator. Just tap both stems and booms. It picks up your foreign language custom noise. I didn't know it could do that. All right, now we bring it all back to the sheet. So this right here, it's all good. And look at how I'm actually structuring the automation. So I mapped it out, and then every time that I finish something, I go here to green because it's called iterative testing. So we test every single step to make sure that it's good, and then we want to make sure some sort of confirmation checklist that we can then say yes, it's good before going to the next step. So the next step here is adding everything to the Google Sheet. Let me rename this IG. Again, not ideal. Let me do IG, and then here let me do Google Sheets. I can append a row in a sheet. Append a row just means add a row. To connect your Google Sheets, you have to go here and sign in with Google. It's just a simple page. You can just choose your account and so on. That's fine. Once you're done with this, you can do sheet within document, append row, because this is the action that we're doing. The document will be IGGGG. Choose the right account. Yeah, there we go. The sheet will be sheet 1, which is this one right here. And now we want to be able to map all the fields. So mapping just means that we want the username to be someone from here. We drag it across, post URL, original post, and rewritten post as well. So the username, I believe we can find, what was his name? Evolving AI. Yeah, there we go. Owner full name. I can drag it across. Now, why do we actually want this? Is because what if we change the URL of another person later on? We still want to know exactly where the post came from. And then we want the post URL. There we go. This right? Yeah, it's good. And now the original post text is I can get from the if a beginner actually used n8n for the first time, I think I get so confused here. There's so much to look at. And then the caption is this, which is good. And now the messenger model, which is the text, the rewritten post. I like how we just translated it in our own tone of voice. Yo, this is actually insane. This is wild. I like that. Apple just dropped a game changer. All right, cool. All right, we can test this as always. We can pin this, I think. Yep, we're good. So now we should see this. It's going to be formatted weird or not. Yeah, it's good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this smaller. So we get to see the username, the post URL. Perfect. The original post and then the rewritten post. I like all of this apart from this. Yeah, like this. This is obviously not us, right? Yeah, this is not us. So let me go to AI, edit rules. Do not use any CTA at the end. Not the best change in prompt, but it's fine. We're gonna run it from scratch again, so don't worry. But now that we're finished with this, so we said, hey, okay, we ran this actor, we got the data, we set the fields because it's easier for us to actually map later on. This should work when it's running. Then we said, okay, maybe we can get 50 posts, but I only want to run 20 posts at a time. So we run 20 posts here, classify the relevance. If it's relevant, then we go to actually make the post. Then we add it to the sheet, and then we go back here and we run the next 20 and the next 20 until it's finished. Well, in this case, it's 50, right? So it will run twice, and then it will run 3 times. On a third, it'll only get 10 to finish. So let me unpin all of this. There we go. Let me save this. Let me refresh the page. And now I should be able to run this. Yeah. Execute workflow. I can now wait. If I go to the post scraper, I can see that this is now running. And this usually takes about 24 seconds. It can be a minute, depending on how many results you want. 46 seconds. Yeah, it depends. We can start to see the posts that are being scraped right now. And we only get the data. Okay, that was 19 posts. Okay, cool. We get the data when it's finished. So it goes here. Now it's going to classify the relevance. Let me check in here. Yeah, it's good. I guess it only found 20 posts. from the last 7 days, which is fine. Because we did put a time frame, right? I'm just going to rewrite them and then put them into the IGGGG database. Now, the reason why we give it like, hey, you can script 50 posts, but in the past 7 days, they only had 20. So it didn't find 50. All right, we can see here that the content is now being added to the Google Sheets. So if I go here, I can see that more content has been added. I mean, this is 24 and we made 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So these 11 are the ones that have just been added, right? Which is great. And we have more content. As you can see, there's no CTA. Changed it. Compared to this, there is a CTA. So we made that change. Perfect. All right, now the only thing we have to change for this automation is that we have to run this every week. I can delete this. Now I can go here on a schedule. I can say weeks, 1 week. We can trigger this on a Sunday at midnight. Oh, actually, no, I said Monday. Let's do Monday. Monday at 6 a.m. is who wakes up before then. And then we press save. And now you should have a working automation that runs every week. It will script the different posts. It will get the data set items. It will then set the nodes or set the variables. It will then only run 20 at a time. It will classify whether this is actually relevant for our target audience. It would only send the ones through that are actually relevant. It will then rewrite them. So let me rename this to rewrite post before adding them to our Google Sheet database with all the content right here. All right, so that right there is a full build for the Instagram Parasite system. And if you want the whole system for free, make sure to press the first link down below, which will take you to my free school community. You can go to the classroom section, go to the templates vault, and then on the most recent video, you'll be able to see the blueprint. So in this case, let me give you an example right here. You press on this and you can import it into your own n8n account. And if you have no idea how to do that, no worries. I even added a tutorial right here, which is importing blueprint to n8n. Also, if you join, you get access to the AI Automations 101, which is a comprehensive course on AI automations, which takes you from a real beginner in AI automation to someone who's actually proficient at building automations for themselves or for other businesses. All right, I hope you found value from this video. And if you like these sort of step-by-step builds, then make sure to leave a like down below and help me out. Always good to know and always good to get feedback from you guys. And if you want to watch a similar video, then make sure to check out this video on the screen. If you want to watch me build a human-in-the-loop AI sales agent from scratch using n8n. With that being said, I'll see you in the next one.